It's been 2 long weeks for most people who call Williams Lake home. But today, the day they've been waiting for, the evacuation order's been lifted and residents have the all clear to go back. The question is, what are they going back to?
I'm excited. I can't wait. We're going tomorrow as soon as we pack everything.
I'm not ready to go home yet because I know what I'm going to face when I get there. And, well, I'm picturing a big burnt out forest and no animals. My hunting territory is all gone. My fishing territory is all gone. So it's going to be a tough year.
These evacuees have been staying in Prince George since fleeing the wildfires. And while the return will no doubt be more gradual than the evacuation itself, some people just couldn't wait to hop in their car and go home. Now that brings us to Tina Lovegreen, who is in Williams Lake right now and was there as evacuees began arriving home. And Tina, must have been emotional. How was it?
Emotional is the right word. It certainly was emotional. Thousands of people have been away from their homes for 12 days, if not longer. 12 days ago, that's when the evacuation order was first issued, and some people left way before that. So people were really restless and anxious to get back home. So it was a lot of smiles today.
I just wanted to be home and know everything was safe at home. So it's always that worry that, because we live right at the very end of town. So it was always that worry that the fire was going to come over the mountain and take out the trailer park. So it's good to be home and know that it's there.
I still haven't seen my house, so I want to see my house. But everything, it just feels wonderful to see the city still here, the town. And I can't explain it. It just feels so good.
And coming home was very emotional. Coming home never felt so good in my life. It was hard to put into words.
Of course, a lot of positive emotion there, but it's not good news for everyone. Officials are describing the damage here as catastrophic, and earlier today we got to see some of that damage close up. We drove through Soda Creek Road, and we saw homes completely burnt to the ground, trees charred, and so that's what some people will be coming back to. Andrew?
And, while the wildfire situation may be relatively stable for now, people are able to go back home, it's certainly not guaranteed to stay that way. And I understand that people are being told you've got to be ready to leave again at a moment's notice.
That's right, and that's what officials really emphasized today. They warn people that once you're back here, you're on high alert, and you're on alert 24/7, and you need to be ready to leave within 30 minutes. And so they also told people, if you're coming back home, make sure you have enough supplies to last you 7 days, especially food and medication, because even though the hospital, some restaurants and grocery stores are open, all those resources that people typically rely on aren't up and running. And for those people with respiratory issues, they've been advised to think twice before returning home.
And the air quality from time to time can get extremely poor. The area will remain on evacuation alert. People need to consider, particularly those in the rural areas, that the areas have been profoundly affected by wildfire. The services you used to rely on may be limited for some time.
And Tina, one other question for you. The original evacuation, it took place in a couple different ways. And I think of those people who took their cars. They can come back whenever they want. But for those people who are relying on those shuttle buses to get out, are there scheduled return trips being planned right now?
You're right. Hundreds of people left the city on big school buses, and we saw them roll in through Kamloops and Prince George, and they will be able to catch a ride back home. All they need to do is go to the Emergency Services Center in either Prince George or Kamloops, let them know they need a ride, and arrangements will be made within the next 48 hours. And once people do make it back home here to Williams Lake, there is a resiliency center set up where they can ask questions and get hooked up with services and supplies. Andrew?
All right, Tina Lovegreen reporting live for us from Williams Lake tonight. Thanks very much.